pressure right away. I wanted to fit in. For example, I wanted to dress like the popular girls who wore clothes from Hollister and such. And I had to keep up to date on my Instagram. Otherwise, I fell out of the loop. And I didn't want to say a blessing before my meal at lunch in public because I felt that I'd be looked at differently. I didn't really mention much about my Catholic faith. I just felt like it was something that my family did. I was just kind of embarrassed about it. I was just like, I do this, but if I saw someone at church, I would shy away. I wasn't too bold about my faith. So during my freshman year, though, I met a Christian girl named Isabel who inspired me to open up about my faith. We were on the volleyball team together, and she asked me if I went to church, and I felt awkward at first. I'm like, yeah, I go to church with my family. But then she started mentioning things like how she loved Jesus, and I was really inspired. I'm like, wow, she really, she's not embarrassed to say that she loves the Lord. And I wanted to be like that. I was like, why am I so afraid? I felt really cowardly not mentioning anything about my Catholic faith. So about during my third year of high school, my mom gave me some really inspiring Catholic books about things about how to live an ordinary life extraordinarily through living the Catholic faith more boldly and responding to God's call in my life. Through the books my mom gave me, I started to recognize the beauty of the Catholic faith, the treasure that I possessed, the treasure I knew I was hiding from people. Those books eventually brought me to my knees, and I began to pray. I prayed to be bold and to have the courage to share my faith at school and not be such a coward. I started to delve deeper into the beliefs of Catholicism so that when one of my friends at school asked me why I didn't believe that a man should marry a man, I could respond with clarity and truth that that's not what God intended, but that He intended for a man and woman to be married so that they could bear children. In another instance, when I told my history teacher that I was planning to go to the pro-life march in D.C. to protect and save the lives of unborn babies, he looked at me a little disconcerted and said, I don't agree with your belief, but I think it's great that you're standing up for what you believe in and you're doing your duty as an American citizen. I was afraid that I'd get a much worse response from him, honestly. But he responded calmly, and I realized that telling people what I believe in may not be so bad after all. This past January, I had some great conversations with my friends at school about why I believe that life should be protected from the moment a woman conceives a child in her womb. And most of the time, my friends were pretty open about it, open to what I had to say, and we were able to have a good discussion about it. I was even able to bring a couple of my friends from school with me to the March for Life so that they could witness the beautiful truth about the Catholic faith. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 10, Jesus says, "Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And although we live in a country that acknowledges religious freedom, and you don't hear much about persecution in our country, I feel like a lot of people today are afraid to speak up about their religion for fear of being accused and confronted about their beliefs. I know I definitely was. To stand up for truth and to be persecuted is blessed by God, and although I haven't been seriously persecuted for my faith, I've had to take a leap to even talk about my beliefs and risk losing friendships and good relations with people. But as children of God, I realize that everyone is yearning for the love of God and for truth. And if I'm able to give them a glimpse of that love and truth, then I'm helping and loving them in a deep way. I try to have more discussions now with my friends about faith and God whenever I get the chance, just to open their hearts and minds